Welcome to Kids Story at Home. I'm Steve with Kids Around the World, and today we're going to explore the story of the widow's offering.
Hey, if you had a lot of money, what would you do with it? Why don't you take a moment, talk with everybody about it. It's time to pause, share, and I'll see you in a second. So now that you've had time to share your story, I'd like to share God's story with you. Before we begin, in our story today, people are giving offerings in the temple. And you know, for all throughout history, people have brought offerings to God. Offerings are really interesting because, you know, God really doesn't need anything. But Jesus taught us that where we put our treasure is where our heart is also. So our offering really doesn't have to do with what God needs. It has to do with us giving Him all of ourselves. And our story begins here. So one day, Jesus was at the temple with His disciples, and He was watching as people came and put gifts into the offering box. Many people came, rich people, and gave their gifts. And then one poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins. Jesus said, "Truly, I tell you, she has put in more than everyone else. For all of them, out of their abundance, gave their offering. But she, out of her poverty, has given everything she has." That's our story today. And you can find it in the book of Luke, chapter 21, verses 1 through 4. Why don't you take a moment to read it, and then you can draw it and flip it, and I'll see you in a few minutes. So now we want to talk a little bit about today's story together. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and I want you to pause the video and discuss each question at home. Don't forget, your perspective on today's story is really important, so we want each one of you to share your answers. So our first question is, what was your favorite thing in today's story, and why? What was Jesus' reaction to the woman giving only 2 small coins? Why do you think Jesus said that the woman gave more than everybody else? What does God want you to do with what you've learned today? Through the stories of the Bible, we get to see who God is, and we get to learn about Him and His character. In today's story, what did you learn about God? If you were to say, through today's story, I see that God is blank, what would you use to fill in that blank? Our desire is that your family's discussion about this story could continue. So we have some more questions in the description below this video, so you can continue now or maybe later today or even throughout the week. And don't forget, if you have any questions about today's story, feel free to ask them in your family and talk about them. Jesus said, "Those who hear my words and don't do them are foolish men who build their houses on sand. But those who hear my words and do them are wise men who build their houses on the rock." So it's really important that we don't just hear God's word today, but that we do something about it. Today, as we close, we just like to say a word of prayer. I'll start us off, but feel free to pause the video and pray together as a family about the things the Lord's asking you to do. Lord, bless our eyes and hearts. May we see the needs of others around us and be willing to give whatever you ask of us.
Thanks for joining us today on Kids Story at Home. I really look forward to seeing you next time as we explore the story of Jesus' Last Supper. At Kids Around the World, we strive to create environments where children's lives are transformed by the hope of Jesus Christ. We hope this video serves to help you create environments in your home where you can explore God's Word together. You can also help us out by doing these 4 simple things. Subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment below, give us your feedback, and then share it with friends. Thanks a lot.